Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I have some big news. It's probably late now coming out, but we just hit top 3% of global podcasts, and we have an average listening time of 30 minutes. So I'm congratulating myself and my team and everyone that has been our guest on this show. We've been working on our podcast in this show for about 3 years. And I'm very excited to be able to be bringing so many wonderful experts and guests and all of their talents and skill sets and experience to all my listeners. This is a podcast where you get real results and tips and tools so you can add it to your toolbox and use them in your own businesses, whether you're scaling, launching, or dominating, in your industry. And today we're going to be talking about how to make sales fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, if you are in business, you need to know this. You are in sales. And a lot of people will tell me, I don't like sales. Well, that is who you are and what you do when you own a business. So why not talk about making it fun? And I have Sarah Walton with us today. And I just met her several months ago. We already have become friends. I'm following all the fun stuff she does. And so we're going to dive into how to make sales fun because that's her niche and her thing. And I can't wait to do that with her. But before I do, I want to thank our sponsor, Your Guided Health Journey. Did you know that your body speaks to you? It doesn't speak in English. It speaks in symptoms, trying to alert you to the fact that something isn't quite right as it asks you to pay attention and do something different. The problem is we are all so busy, we don't pay attention. Instead, we consider the symptoms to be aging or seasonal allergies or genetics. And then we keep on going with our daily lives, ignoring the early warning signs. Think about the way that your body has been talking to you lately. Aches and pains, headaches, hot flashes, heartburn, digestive issues, or something else. These are not normal. Ladies and gentlemen, these are signs that your body is out of balance. A body imbalance doesn't get sick, harbor disease, or hold on to excess weight. Your Guided Health Journey works with the entire English-speaking world to help you get to the root cause of your symptoms through discovering your toxic load and using the power of functional medicine lab tests mailed to your home and providing you a personalized wellness protocol to guide your body back into balance and literally turn back to you feeling amazing. So get started today on the Discover Your Toxic Load quiz by going to welcome.yourguidedhealthjourney.com/your toxic load. So thank you to Your Guided Health Journey for being our sponsor on today's show. And I can tell you that Melissa Deely, who is the owner of that company, is my health coach. And she chased me down for about 6 months before I was ready to commit to just focusing on my health. And when I did, I can't thank her enough. We've created a tribe around this now, and we do quarterly detoxes, and I've had all the tests mailed to my home. My husband has, and I know all my numbers. I know exactly what supplements to take, what supplements not to take, what I'm allergic to, and it has been huge in changing just so many things in my body, and I'm the healthiest I've ever been. So just want to give a shout out to Your Guided Health Journey and Melissa Deely for that. All right, let's get to our guest of the day, Miss Sarah Walton. She's so beautiful. And if you don't have the opportunity to see her right now on the podcast, you should pop over to Colleen Biggs, either on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook, and you can see how gorgeous she is. And you've got to start following her because she does some cool bloopers. So Sarah Walton is a business mentor who's been featured on the Today Show, speaks at women's conferences all over the world, and has helped hundreds of women start and grow businesses they love. She's the voice behind the Game On Girlfriend podcast, and she's known for her weekly Sarah Uncut, that's it, TV show on YouTube and live Coffee with Coach streaming video conversations on Monday morning. Her specialty is making sales fun as she helps women heal their relationships with money. How many out there have broken relationships with money? Your hand should be up right now because we all have at one point. She works with a handful of one-to-one clients every year, runs her quarterly group coaching sprints, and is known for her powerful expansion coaching program, The Sales Mastermind, which she runs twice a year. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Colleen, I'm so happy to be here with you. And you are just the sweetest. It takes beauty to see beauty, I guess, Missy, because wow.
I tell you what, girl, I just don't hide it anymore. Just gonna
That's
say,
right. You
right?
better not.
You gotta get out there and know you're hot. And I'm not saying like
And it's
But
not
you know, you're sexy. I'm saying, like, you got to know that you're the next hot thing. You've got to be confident about what you do. You got to be confident about who you serve. You have to be confident about your knowledge and your skill sets and your passion. That is what sells clients, right? And you're confident and passionate about sales. Not a lot of people are. So how do you make it so dang fun, Sarah?
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's like the best intro ever. I love it. I just can't even hide it. I'm not gonna. It's just my absolute favorite. And I think the biggest paradigm shift for me, right? I'm this little tiny kid from Sandy, Utah. Like, I have no business teaching other women how to sell and make it fun, right? Like, with what right do I fall in love with this amazing skill set? But it is, for me, an ongoing opportunity to change someone else's life. And that can sound cheesy or like it's a meme or it belongs on like a bumper sticker or something. But if you actually get that, it's no longer about us. And then it's a blast because you watch someone who's struggling with something. You go, oh my gosh, I have a thing for you. I mean, let's just even take what you just did with your sponsor. How awesome was that? And I got to tell you, you guys, I don't have a single client where health doesn't come into play ever. Because if you're not healthy, you can't have a thriving business, right? But like, how awesome is that? Someone who was like, yeah, I feel like crap today. They now have an answer to that. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's so cool. And what else are we here for? But to help each other do things faster and with less pain. And honestly, you can sell anything. I hope you always do it with integrity and heart. I don't teach it any other way, but you can sell anything to someone else if it helps them get what they need faster and with less pain. And if you're clear on that, it's a joy. It's really, really fun to have somebody go, oh my God, I can do that in 6 months. You go, yeah, would that be amazing? And they're like, oh my God, yes. And now it's a party and it's a complete celebration and everyone wins.
Yeah. You know, you talked about doing your sprints and I've seen them. I don't know a lot about them, but let's talk about the sprints that you do because you do those quarterly, right? And talk to me about them being sprints because most of the time, you know, you say you can do anything for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever. But when someone's like a marathon, that's so long, 6 months, that's so long, but you do them in sprints. So what is the premise behind doing them in sprints and why do you do them like that?
Yeah. Oh, such a great question. So I do them quarterly because so much research has been done on 90-day goals. I'm sure you've heard about it. Everybody knows about it. Like, it's long enough for you to actually accomplish something, but it's short enough that your feet are on fire, right? So it's like this gorgeous little sweet spot. And I started the sprints actually during the pandemic because I was watching people just go off the rails, right? Whether it was health or their business, their money, they weren't paying attention. And I mean, I get it. It was a little weird, right? It was this crazy time.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a second, I'm really good at motivating people. I'm really good at productivity, but like common sense, I don't do overwhelm and I don't do burnout. I just don't do that. I think that's weird. And I don't do that.
Yeah.
So in a way to structure your life so that you get things done well. In addition, I wanted to create a group program because everyone was lonely, right? And I think entrepreneurship can get really lonely where you're just sitting there going, does anybody even freaking know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And so we meet weekly and I let them run the show. I'm like, look, I'm your coach for the next hour. Whatever you need to ask me, ask me. And the questions during a sprint vary from, I'm this close and I don't know what to do because I think I'm going to miss the goal, right? Like, what do we need to do? I'm like, all right, let's talk about that. To, you know, I'm not motivated. Like, I got to do all these, we call them in the sprints, we call them tasky tasks, like like the crazy crap you don't want to do. Like, I have tasky tasks and I don't want to do them. What's going on with me? Because I want to change the world, but I don't want to write this email, right? Like, so those moments where like all the heads are nodding, like everybody in the group is like, yeah, me too, me too, me too. So to have those moments, to have a coach who laughs with you during those moments, but also gets to what's actually happening. Like, whoa, where have you disconnected from you? Where have you disconnected from what you're actually doing and understanding the psychological constructs behind I call it lovingly the efforts, right? Like I've got the efforts today. I don't, that like moment that we all have that breaks or makes your success. Because everybody thinks like, is why I love the sprints, because everybody thinks success is like this massive sweeping change. And I'm like, it's not. It's the day when you have the efforts and you have somewhere to go where someone kicks your rear end and you start and you get into action.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it happens. That's where all the wins are. And I think it's very challenging to do that alone. I just think it's really hard.
Yeah. Accountability is the biggest piece.
Totally.
So when you have a goal and then you're held accountable to that goal, because if we don't have anyone holding us accountable, we're only holding are accountable to ourselves. And I would say 9 out of 10 people won't do anything with that. We're the first person will let, ourselves down. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
especially women.
Yeah. Oh, especially women. Right. Because everything else comes into play, and we're reading the book Atomic Habits right now by James Clear in our book club. And one thing that he said in Atomic Habits was, he said, professionals stick to a schedule. Professionals stick to their day-to-day and the things that, that even in the time of boredom, when you think of Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, all the, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, all the athletes, Michael Phelps, elites, they get comfortable in the boredom. And so when you get bored, sometimes that you can get unproductive or, do you find that it's the accountability, because now we're talking long-term, right? It's about having a business long-term and having a business where you are actually, producing and growing your business. It's zigzagging along the way. There is no straight path to success. We all know that, but it's zigzagging along the way. And 10, years in, maybe you're getting bored, or 5 years in, you're like, it's the same thing over and over again. I mean, what are ways that people can mix it up, Sarah, to where they have a good time and make it fun? I think that's the secret, really.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And I think as people do progress, I think what you're saying is so smart. And it's funny. I have people who've done sprints back to back for 2 years now. They're like, I'll never not do a sprint because you keep moving forward. Right.
Yeah.
And I love that. That makes us so happy because it's working. Right.
Right.
But part of it too, I think, as we continue to grow, is we must be challenged. I don't think that's a nice to have. I truly believe that's a necessity. It's that idea that, our synapses stop firing quite as quickly. That's a real physiological change that happens when you're like, that's not acceptable. It's just not. And so one of the things we must do is consistently plan for new.
Yeah.
I think that's important. When we are looking at, I'm feeling a little down, good, go take ballroom dancing, learn a new language, go find out how to do pottery. And that's crazy for a business coach to say, right? Because we're always like, focus on the one thing, right? And that's true. Focus on the one thing. But if your head's not in it because you're bored, because you have not controlled for new, you're in trouble. And we have a drive inside of us to grow. It's why even when you look out and you see the nastiness in the world, or you see people aren't being great with people, there's always someone pushing through who's offering something, who's being generous. We have the amazing Mr. Rogers quote, look for the helpers. That's always in there because that's actually who we are. It doesn't mean we don't lose our ways. Like you said, we zig and zag. That's not just business, that's life.
Right.
But at the heart of it, when you are trying to hit a new goal, when you are trying to expand, you will have to control for new. And I think having somebody next to you, like I would say, I love being a coach so much. I'm like the cheesiest coach person out there because I freaking love it. Because
I do
like,
too.
I'm not your mom. I'm not your sister. I'm not your competitor. Right. I'm like, dude, you succeed or I fail.
Yeah,
the end. Right. You like nowhere else do you have that relationship. Right. So what's so good is to have a coach next to you saying, yeah, but did you control for new this week? Oh crap. I totally did. I'm like, go get a book right now, put on music right now, go try something new right now. And immediately it is so instant. The brain is engaged, the body's back engaged. Even if you take a 5-minute walk, you do a breathing exercise, you start doing tapping. There's so many resources available to us that you can use to stimulate your brain, which will re-engage you in a new level. And I think what we lose sight of so often, and this is why I hate memes and I hate like the trite little sayings out there. They drive me nuts because they've numbed out the brain too. Right now, it's like, yeah, I know. Whatever you focus on expands. It's like, that is one of the most profound things we can actually get. And it's been turned into a meme with a dancing baby or something. I mean, it's like, it just breaks my heart because if you actually get that, everything changes. And one of the things that I think people are missing right now, to your point, is that the only thing that can change our results is us taking different action.
That's right.
Nothing else is going to change it.
Mhm.
You can pretend it's the economy. You can pretend that it's your spouse. You can pretend it's that one bum client. You can pretend it's a bad review. I mean, you can do whatever the heck you want, but until you start doing something different, nothing else will change. It's one of my favorite phrases. If you want something you've never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done.
Mhm.
And we forget that because
That's
we get
right.
successful. And
Yeah.
then we're like, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And
Yeah,
then
I always say
down
to
the line, we're
people
not.
like, so how's that working for you? What you've
Yeah.
been doing, right? But then, there's a reason why I have forms that people fill out and I ask questions like, are you willing to do things that you've never done before? Because if they're not willing to do that, that's probably not a good fit, for me to work with someone one-on-one. Because when it gets to the one-on-one level, I really need to know that you're wanting to take action and put in what it takes to do something different than what you've done, because what you've done up to this point has gotten you where you are today. And that's not enough for you, you're saying. So that means if we continue to do the same thing over and over again, it's not going to get us a different result. It's just going to get us the same result, right? You've got to change it. So tell me a time in your life, Sarah, where you've taken a leap, where you really were like, this is all faith. Don't know if the net's going to appear, but I'm going for it anyway.
I feel like every day, to
Yeah.
be honest, like every day
Every
I'm
day
like,
I wake up.
it's going to work, right? No, really it was, when I left my corporate gig. I mean, that was so much money, the benefits, right? The 401k that got maxed out by April. I mean, all the things. I don't think I've ever been that scared, but also that sure.
Right.
And I fumbled a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I've been at this now for 14 years. Now it's like, I got my rhythm. I know what I'm doing, and I'm still learning and growing and controlling for new. But I'm having a hard time articulating it because it was that scary and I remember even going to an all women's networking conference. You should have been there with me because you would have helped me to do really smart things, like ask people what their favorite colors were. But, so I went there. I think it was Ariana Huffington was speaking or something. I was so excited. I drove into New York City. We live just outside of New York, and I'm in there. I'm listening. I'm with all these corporate people. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And I drove home and beat myself up the entire way. Who the heck do you think you are? It wasn't original, by the way. We all have the same thoughts, you guys. So who the heck do you think you are? What is wrong with you? This is like $1 million now that you've left on the table. You haven't figured this out yet. Who's going to come into your life and make this? Like, I just was not a great ride home. And those are the moments I think you have to actually dig in and find the faith or have the people around you that go, yeah, those moments are going to happen. That's real. And here's how we're going to get through it. And I think there's too much of hushing on that. So I'm really glad you asked that, because I don't think enough people understand everybody has those. I don't care who you are, you're going to have that moment.
Yeah. I mean, actors, actresses, big, huge authors that, write books have this. Is this the book where they're going to find out I'm an imposter and I don't know what I'm doing?
Totally.
It happens to all of us. And I think that's what makes us relatable, though, Sarah, to the people that we work with, and why it's so easy for us to attract people is because we're not afraid to share those challenges that we still have, because you're going to have them at, like you said, every day, every level, you second guess yourself. Was this the right way? I should have done this. Should I continue doing my sprints? Is it something people still want? All the things. And what can I do that's new and fresh and different, right? And we're all making those decisions every day, and we're all selling. We're all selling to someone. So what is the number one way, would you tell me, for our listeners to take away in their businesses today? What can they change? One little thing to just make sales fun.
Oh, just talk about what you do. I know that sounds so simple, but there's two things. So I lied. Sorry. So one is talk about what you do, but just say flat out, I help this person solve this problem in this way. If you can say that, like right now, I would challenge anybody, if you're listening right now, go post that right now, because I guarantee you there are people who are not clear on who you help, how you help them, what problem you solve, and how they can work with you. I promise you, go to that post right now and have laugh the entire time. If you need to put on great music, do that. And the part two I was going to share is your own energy. No one is going to generate your excitement for you. No one is going to generate your passion for you. And if you don't have it, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And that is just the truth.
It's so
So it's
true.
like being responsible for that. Like, yo, I own a business. So I better do some jumping jacks before I go live. I better do something. Like, I need to show up, because if you're not there, what are they buying? Why would they work with you? Are you going to show up for them? You can't even show up for you. Right. So really generating that in a loving, exciting, fun way, telling you, once you get that down, everything starts to change. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And do things differently. Like, do things the way you want to do things. I think that's the other piece, Sarah, because so many of us try to make our businesses look like somebody else's business. And I always say, if you come across a coach that is trying to fit you into their program, run like hell. That's what I tell them. Run like hell. It's not about that. It's a different when you're learning someone's program and the way that they're like your sprints, where you're there to guide them on how to make sales fun, and they're all having goals, and they've got 90 days to get through them. But I'm talking about when someone says you need to do it like this, and this, and you need to do this, you need to do this. I have so many clients that come to me and they say, well, my last coach told me I had to do it this way. I'm like, first of all, I don't know why anyone's telling you have to do something, because it's your business and it's your choice. They can certainly give you some recommendations and some successes maybe they've had or other clients have had, and based on how you're running your business. But I always say run for the hills, right?
Yes.
So we have choices. And when I do networking events, I play music and have a little dance party for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the networking event. And I always tell women, it's in the middle of the day, come and just dance for 5 minutes, spend some time. I always play very uplifting women ballads that are like so powerful, that you're unstoppable and unbreakable and unshakable. And it's like, you can't not feel like a freaking Porsche on, going 150 miles an hour when you're listening to that song.
Love.
Why not do it?
Right. Well, I mean, that's the headspace, right? And what that provides people, Colleen, that I think is so brilliant, is just think for a second, you guys, we just said the actions you take cause your results, right?
Yep.
Imagine the actions you take when you feel like that versus when you're like, I don't think anyone's going to buy. I don't know. I'm going to try because my coach told me to. Like, whoa, what result is that going to produce? No. Turn on the music. Feel like the Porsche. Do the stuff. Like, we can do that. It's free.
Yeah.
It's fast, it's immediate, and it will change everything. So if you take nothing away from this, it's like, learn how to shift your mindset in a moment when you're feeling panicked. If you can do that, you will conquer anything.
My most successful clients are the ones that shift their mindset. I had this great conversation, and then she asked me what was the next steps. And I told her, here's a link for my next workshop. I was like, you did what? You were like, beep, 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 back up, shut the garage door. No one's home, turn off all the lights. And she just started laughing and kind of embarrassed. And I said, well, now that you think about it, what should you have done? Well, I should have just invited her to work with me. I was like, that's what she asked for. She asked you for it.
She literally asked.
But because she didn't believe in herself at that point. I mean, she's unstoppable now, but it was all her mindset shift. Like you said, we can't instill passion. We can't shift it for you. You have to choose and want to do that for yourself. But it's so much more fun being an entrepreneur if you do things the way you want to do it and you have fun doing it.
Yes.
So stop being a stick in the mud. Is that what we should tell people right now?
No, it's not that. It's like, I know it's scary. You know what I mean? Scary. Like, it's so scary. And you're like, oh my God, this is my baby. And what if somebody hates? Like, of course, that's like totally, absolutely natural for us to feel that way. And the skill is, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in charge. That's the skill. And that sounds crazy. That's like, oh, but you just said some words. It's like, no, when you actually embody that, when you start taking control of that, when you are responsible for your state, like, what is the state of mind you are in at the moment you're taking that action? If you own that, that's a skill, and it's learnable, right? You don't have to get a PhD to learn how to do that, but it does take practice, and it takes consistency, and it takes courage. It absolutely does. That's real.
Yeah. And, putting the people and surrounding yourself with the people that are there to cheer you on, to coach you. I'm so glad you do it in a group. It's so important to do that. Sarah also has the Game On Girlfriend podcast. So you guys should go out and listen to that and subscribe to that. I know we've been promoting her and that podcast on our newsletters, and then the Sarah Uncut TV show on YouTube. Just go subscribe. I'm just going to say.
I just love that makes you laugh.
Just gives you some fun. It just goes to show that all the stuff that happens behind the scenes that everyone doesn't really see. I remember posting a photo once at my daughter's house in the master bedroom. My laptop was on her ladder and I had a light, and I posted it and I said, well, you got to do with what you've got when the event's going to happen. And I was babysitting for the week, and I had a babysitter downstairs watching the kids, and I had locked myself, barricaded myself in the room. And all I could do to set everything up so I had a nice background was a ladder to put everything on, so that I had the nice background, or I'd have the bed in the picture, which no one wants to see a bed. And it was like, do what you must do to make the show go on. It doesn't matter how pretty it looks, but show up. Just show up no matter what, and you made a commitment and show up. And it was one of the funnest networking events we ever did, because everyone was laughing because I posted it right before we got on, and some people had seen it, and they were like, everything's on a ladder right now. I'm like, seriously, you guys can see. I mean, I showed you the picture.
Like, we got to do what we got to do.
It is what it is.
That's so fun.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes you've got to pin your bra up, or, sometimes I've had shoes break on me. I've had hair bands break on me. Everything has happened. I've literally had eyelashes like halfway fall off right before I got ready to record something. And it's like, just stick on there, baby, for another 10 seconds. While I finish doing this. So we're all a hot mess, but just have fun with it. Have fun being an entrepreneur. And I promise you, if you infuse fun into sales, it will not seem like this skeevy kind of, I'm asking people for their money. It doesn't feel like that when you have fun with sales.
Absolutely.
It's giving people the opportunity for them to be able to solve a problem that they have, and you're the one that can solve it for them. So it's an amazing opportunity, and everyone wants to make an impact on the world, and that's how you do it. And the more money you make, bigger impact.
Yeah. And I think, I really just want to highlight something you said there, because I think that's really important. It's not just about taking money for people. One of the shifts we've made over here in our company, we have a massive new goal for all of us, and we stare at it every day, and we're like, all right, let's do this. Is that the mindset shift is actually, that's the amount of value we're already putting out. Yeah. And then the money just actually will come in to match that, because there has to be congruence between money and value. Money will always go to where the perceived value is highest. So if we start to relate to our work, if all of us relate to our work, like that is the value that is putting out in the world, all of a sudden it's not selling. Yeah. It's like, what is? Do you know what I mean? It's not even like a thing. It's like, oh, by the way, I have this thing. You come get it. We're going to blow up the world. All right, let's go. And everybody's excited and happy. Yeah. And when sales is a celebration like that, I don't know what's better. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So, Sarah, we've talked about a lot of different ways that they can download your podcast, a lot of different ways that they can check you out on YouTube. And you guys, I'm serious. We'll have those links in there for you. But what is the offer that you have for our listeners today? And what is the best way for them to connect with you and follow you and, get in your community?
Oh, you're so sweet. So I just head on over to sarahwalton.com. But I also we're super excited about this. This is hot off the presses, because I kept getting asked this question. It was like, if you could narrow down the top 3 mistakes people make while they're selling, what would they be? And I was like, you got it. So on my website, you will find the top 3 mistakes that most people make in sales and how to fix it. It's not just like, here are your top 3 mistakes. It's like, no, let's get serious. How do you fix that? What do you do about that? And we are loving the response to that. People are writing in saying, oh my God, I just sold something. I'm like, there we go. Like, let's get people selling. My mission is to put more money in the hands of more women, because I think we will change the world. I absolutely
already
believe that.
are.
I know it sounds huge, but I believe it.
We already are.
Let's go.
Yes,
you're totally
I'm with
right.
you on that. You and I are going to be arm in arm. We've already talked about that.
Sister.
So not worried about that one bit. Absolutely, that's going to happen. Well, for all of you that are listening today, make sure you head on over to sarahwalton.com. Is it /freedom? Is that the one that they're going to see?
That is actually,
they just go to sarahwalton.com.
Yeah, sarahwalton.com/sales mistakes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yes.
We'll make sure we make that change
Brand
on
new.
there so that they've got that sales mistakes. That's the ones that we're going to roll with. And that's perfect. Thank you so much, because we're talking all about sales today and how to make it fun. So don't make these top 3 sales mistakes, and then you'll be able to drive more income into your business. Yeah, absolutely. And I loved our conversation that we had today, Sarah. And I just want to remind all of our listeners, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. So you either are going to make sales skeevy or you're going to make sales fun. I'm just going to say it. You're going to shy away from it, or you're going to lean into it and have fun with it and enjoy it. And I promise you, your life will be so much happier. And when we're happier, we live longer. It is a research proven fact. If you're happier, you live longer. So infuse some fun into your sales, just like Sarah talked today. And Sarah, I want to thank you again so much for being on our show. You've been a phenomenal guest. So make sure you guys all head over to sarahwalton.com/sales mistakes. I got it.
And
All
Colleen,
right.
thank you so much for having me. You're just always such a joy to talk to.
All right, listeners, thank you so much, Sarah. We'll talk to you next time. Until then, be you and be strong. See you. Bye-bye.